Guatemala is a Central American country bordered by Mexico, Belize, Honduras, and El Salvador. Boasts a rich cultural heritage and a stunning natural beauty, with English becoming increased popular in tourist areas. Over 34.6% of Guatemalans speak English. About 25% use English as their second language. First, let us discuss the history of English in Guatemala. English was introduced to Guatemala during the 19th and 20th centuries through British and American trade, investment, and cultural influence. British commercial interests and American companies like the United Fruit Companies played a significant role in English. English rapidly spread during the 20th century due to increased U.S. influence, globalization, and tourism. Several factors contributed to the spread of English in Guatemala. First, the colonial and economic influence. During the colonial period, British influence in nearby regions, especially Belize, led to greater interaction between English speakers and Guatemalans. British traders and colonists played a significant role in dissemination of the English language. Second, U.S. investment and trade. The introduction of American companies, particularly the United Fruit Company, in the early 20th century significantly increased the prevalence of English in trade and business, due to the widespread use of English speakers, employees, and managers. Third, tourism. The rise of tourism in Guatemala, particularly in places like Antigua and attractions like Lake Atitlan, has led to increase in the popularity of the English language, due to the influx of English-speaking tourists and foreigners. Fourth, education. Bilingual and international schools in urban areas have significantly enhanced the English language education, catering to both live-abroad communities and local students seeking global opportunities. Fifth, media and technology. English language media including movies, TV shows, music, and the internet significantly contribute to the spread of English among younger generations. 6. Cultural exchange. Increasing cultural exchange through international organizations and events has further encouraged the learning and use of English in various sectors.
Good day everyone, good day sir. My name is Diana Rose Biader from Baal Swan. So now I will be reporting the status of English language in Guatemala. Based on a population of 18 million, only 10% speaks English, making the country rank 29 out of 111 countries in English proficiency index. When it comes to implementation of English education, bilingual education focuses on their own educational system. On the other hand, when it comes to teacher training issues, it is proposed that the current teacher training program could negatively affect the English instruction, and new program may not address the specific needs of indigenous communities. There have also been resource challenges, in particular with the community for effective education. Economic barrier, transitioning to a university-based training might impose financial burden to the students. So now let's move on and tackle the programs for improvement of English proficiency. And those are the following. The Right to Read program, launched in Guatemala in 2019, aims to enhance English literacy from preschool to 12th grade. The program uses Read2Me AI, offering multi-sensory learning tools like voice choices, Spanish translation, and dictionary. Students over 2 hours of learning English showed 8 times more improvements in learning English. Let's move on and talk about the policies affecting English language use. Bilingual education. The policies often prioritize indigenous language alongside Spanish, affecting the resource available for English instruction. Official language status. Spanish is the official language, while English is recognized but less support. Educational reforms aim to improve English literacy but compete with initiative indigenous language education. Socioeconomic factors. Access to the good quality of education. Globalization. The job market demands for English skills, increasing the interest in learning. Cultural attitudes. Views on some vary, some see it as a pathway of opportunities, while others prioritize their native language. What is cultural attitudes? It is something that you seek to improve your English education. So now, let's talk about the attitudes of people in Guatemala. Those are the following. Perceived value. For them, English is important for personal and professional development. Binavalue nila yon kasi para mapalawak yung kaalaman nila about sa mga bagay-bagay. Cultural influence. Many people has gained interest in learning English due to the impact of American and British through social media. Educational aspiration. Parents often encourage their children to learn English, believing that it can lead them to the better future someday. Economic consideration. Individual potential and benefits in learning English has tend to have a positive attitude.
Features of English in the country. The English spoken in Guatemala is influenced by local culture, language, and context with notable features including grammar. Guatemalans, particularly those with limited English proficiency, may employ simple sentence structure, including less complex verb tenses and forms. 1. Code switching. Many speakers, particularly bilingual individuals, may mix English with Spanish in conversation. Code switching, this can include using Spanish grammatical structure while speaking English. Under pronunciation, we will have three types of pronunciation. 1. Accent. Guatemalan English often has a typical accent influenced by the speaker's native Spanish pronunciation, with common features including the aspiration of each sounds may be less pronounced. For example, house may sound like house. The vowel sounds may be different from those in American or British English, affecting clarity. 2. Consonant substitution. Spanish speakers may alter certain consonant sounds, such as reversing the V sound to B, resulting in very sounding like berry. 3. Intonation and rhythm. The rhythm and intonation patterns in Guatemalan English may also reflect the Spanish influence, which can make speech sound different from native English speakers. Vocabulary has two types. 1. Spanglish. Spanish and English vocabulary often blend, especially among younger speakers, with the use of English words or phrases adapted into everyday Spanish conversation. 2. Local terminology refers to the unique terms or expressions that are derived from the local culture or context, which may not be widely used in other English-speaking regions. Cultural influence. 1. Contextual language use. English usage in business, tourism, and education context may lead to more development vocabulary among speakers in these areas. 2. Educational influence. English education quality can vary significantly, affecting fluency and grammatical accuracy among speakers based on their educational background and language exposure. Miguel Angel Asturias. Miguel Angel Asturias was a prolific Guatemalan writer known for his novels, essays, and poetry. He received the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1967 for his body of work, which often explores themes of identity, culture, social, and political issues facing Guatemala and Latin America. Here are some of his work. 1. El Señor Presidente, 1946, a famous novel by Asturias, depicts a tyrannical dictator in Guatemala using surrealism and symbolic style to depict political repression and corruption. 2. Hombres de Maíz, 1949, also known as Men of Maize. The novel delves into the intricate interplay between indigenous people and the land, particularly maize highlighting their struggles against modernity and exploitation. 3. El Silencio 1965. The novel explores silence in response to political oppression following a man returning home after exile and examining memory effects. 4. La Tregua 1962. Asturias' La Tregua explores personal and political intersections focusing on love, loss, and time as a man seeks peace amid turmoil.